Venezuelan-American fashion designer Carolina Herrera has dressed personalities like the late Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis and actresses such as Blake Lively and Renee Zellweger. But one creation of Herrera's which recently captured the imagination of young women and girls all around the world is the wedding dress she designed for tween icon Bella from Twilight. Find out more about Herrera's classic style on Range. In town to open the Audi Fashion Festival, aristocrat and designer Carolina Herrera, who attended her first Cristobal Balenciaga haute couture show when she was 13, presented her first full collection in 1981 in New York. Her elegant, ladylike aesthetic was hailed by critics and consumers alike, and the 74-year-old opened her first flagship boutique on Madison Avenue and 75th Street in New York in 2000.
I designed to make women look more beautiful and men more handsome. I think I'm bringing very feminine clothes, very feminine collections, quite sophisticated, and it is especially for the active woman of today. It's not those collections that you say, oh, it's 1920s or 1930s. Nothing retro. It's for today.
To date, there are 97 Carolina Herrera boutiques worldwide, and the first boutique in Southeast Asia was opened in Singapore in March.
I am expanding in Asia, which makes me so happy, because I have always had in my mind that I had to come this way.
Yes.
And you will see me more. I did a collection like 4 years ago, spring and summer, and I was totally inspired by the Korean look. I mean, I did all the hats of the men who are agricultors, you know.
Yeah, workers
planting.
in the field, yes.
And I translated a little bit for women, and it was so beautiful. It was one of my favorite ones, with all the touches, not exactly Korean, but little touches of Korean looks.
Yes.
And it was very successful.
The blonde, dubbed La Bombe by noted late Vogue editor Diana Freeland, is renowned for her dress sense and beauty, making the Best Dressed List International Hall of Fame a year before her debut as a fashion designer in 1981.
I think I don't confuse them. They know exactly what they are going to get from Carolina Herrera. And that's important, because it's a lot of confusion in fashion, and nowadays it's much more than before. So you have to be very clear about it.
Yes.
And your style has to be projected there and not changing every 6 months. You cannot live in an ivory tower, because you're living in a world that is so different and so changed. And you have to be more realistic. And fashion is not only frivolous, as they say. Fashion is for your everyday life.
Yes.
And it has to be something that you project if you want to be very glamorous or if you want to look very comfortable. I mean, you have the choice.
Carolina Herrera can be said to be a family-run business, with Carolina's daughter, Carolina Herrera de Baez, joining the business in 1997 as a creative director at Herrera's House of Fragrances.
I have 4 daughters.
4 daughters, wow. I should research
12
that. I should know
grandchildren,
that. Yes.
2 great-granddaughters. I have 2 daughters working with me. One is Carolina, but she's working in the side of the perfumes.
Right.
And Patricia is in my design team in New York. And it's so much fun to work with them, because they have a different point of view, which helps me a lot.
Yes.
And they do things the same way, but in a different way.
Nonetheless, Carolina is not handing over the reins yet.
If I am involved in everything that has my name, because you cannot delegate and just ignore it. If something goes wrong, then it's your fault, because it's your name.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Next up, check out the Carolina Herrera fashion show at the Audi Fashion Festival.